50 years ago, in June 1947, a very important event took place. The American civil pilot Kenneth Arnold, a highly esteemed businessman, landed at Akima Airport near Washington, very excited. In fact, a short while earlier, he had seen 9 enormous flying objects circle around and then disappear into space. Kenneth Arnold's testimony, which, related by a person as appreciated and esteemed as he was, cannot be denied straight out, and by all accounts, it was also Kenneth Arnold who gave the flying discs the name which we use today. That is, that he first made the comparison to flying saucers, hence the terminology. After Arnold's testimony, many other people, up until the moment in which they were silenced from fear of being taken as mad visions, affirmed that they too had seen flying discs in various conditions, flying in the sky and then disappearing. Since then, after 50 years, the flying discs have not abandoned the headlines, and it can be said that daily we receive information from important sources, pilots, radar operators, apart from normal people like ourselves. Notwithstanding this vast material and this publicity, we know little from official sources. The theme of flying discs is still an enigma, a secret. This video, as you will see, is an exception to this point of view. It consists of official conversation between the Italian Georgio Bongiovanni, a stigmatist and contactee, and Russian high-ranking military officers. They met each other in a secret Russian military base, and there was an exchange of information. The Russian militaries told Georgio Bongiovanni all that they could about the flying discs. They also gave him photographs, very important items, and Georgio Bongiovanni spoke to them about his experience. We are therefore dealing with an extremely important document, a unique test which we are pleased to present. Giorgio Bongiovanni was obviously considered by the Russians the right person to have talks with at this level and to divulge such special material.
When the notorious stigmatist and contactee Georgio Bongiovanni met the then president of the ex-USSR, Mikhail Gorbachev, on the 27th of May 1990, and asked him for permission to spread his message in that country, few, if anyone, would have imagined the developments that were to occur. After a series of encounters with various representatives from scientific, political, and military backgrounds in February 1997, Giorgio Bongiovanni and his group produced one of the most important stages in modern ufology, a meeting with a military team that studied the UFO and extraterrestrial phenomenon on behalf of the Russian government. The historic encounter took place in the city of Tver, 200 kilometers from Moscow, in the Anti-Aircraft Academy of Defense, Red Flag. The civil delegation led by Giorgio Bongiovanni was made up of Professor Costantino Paglialunga, physicist, chemist and director of the newspaper Non Siamo Soli, We Are Not Alone, with Leonid Kandinsky as interpreter and Giorgio Bongiovanni's wife, Lorella Placidi, who has filmed this exceptional event. The military delegation, headed by the 3-star General Gennady Reshetnikov, was composed of Lieutenant Colonel reporting for the General Boris Sidorenko, Major Vyacheslav Boloshik, instructed by General Reshetnikov, in the role of specialist researcher into UFOs and aliens in Russia, and officially instructed by the military press of the Academy, directed by Mikhail Belov. The two delegations were constantly accompanied and assisted by Colonel Vyacheslav Zurkin, special agent of the Russian counter-espionage in Europe for the government agency FSB, known up until a few years ago with the more recognized initials KGB. This meeting took place after 3 long years of negotiations and eventually went ahead thanks to the extraordinary mediation work conducted by the Major of the Russian Armed Forces, Eugenio B., collaborator and personal friend of Giorgio Bongiovanni. But now let's leave the words to the protagonist of this historic event. Before starting our conversation, I would like to tell you that we are one of the most important schools, a military academy, one of the academies dedicated only to defense, where Russians and foreigners alike can study. You should consider yourself a guest on the occasion of the anniversary of the academy. If the other gentlemen are in agreement, I would like to consider you in this way. I thank you for giving me this great opportunity to be able to speak with you of the important events which are happening throughout the world regarding extraterrestrial presence, in other words, the presence of UFOs. The main attention of the UFOs is above all on the United States of America and on Russia. Above all. Have I understood correctly? Is this the situation? Yes, above all. The attention is on all humanity, but above all, could you please explain? The reason is that the United States and Russia have the most powerful nuclear reserve in the world, and combined with the other 5 superpowers, they, the aliens, are worried.
Penso che questa sia una cosa seria per attirare l'attenzione, diciamo così, degli UFO.
It's my opinion that the nuclear military program is something that attracts the attention of the UFOs. And I believe not only nuclear arms, but the general behavior of the states and the spiritual condition of states, like America and Russia, attracts their curiosity. Yes, I agree. I wish to ask you a question. As a military general, do you believe that these UFOs come from other planets? Are you sure? Are you certain? I think there is an influence. I have great respect for many researchers and scientists' opinion, also from Tver, who made me think that this is real. But above all, I have a personal intuition. I think that these powers do exist and influence us and expect something from us. I have information that the United States and Russian governments have been withholding physical evidence of the existence of flying saucers for 50 years. In your opinion, is this possible?
Да, вполне возможно. Я в свое время служил на Дальнем Востоке.
Yes, I think this is possible.
На одной из конференций, это уже лет 15 тому назад.
I was in service in the far east of Russia, and I took part in a conference about 15 years ago where a lot of foreign material was shown. In the USSR at that time, it was very rare to see any local material about UFOs, but there, I personally know of some witnesses who have been affected by UFOs. Also during space missions.
Io personalmente lo so, conosco personalmente alcuni testimoni che personalmente hanno visto o sono stati influenzati dagli UFO. Anche Vyacheslav.
Do you know if the Russian government has assigned any military team to study this phenomenon?
Вы слышали когда-нибудь о том, что российское правительство давало каким-то военным ученым поручение изучать эти вещи на официальном уровне?
There was something on these lines. There are many different studies that the military scientists carry out.
Ci sono tanti scienziati militari che si occupano di diversi studi.
Perché nel messaggio spirituale
Per me è духовное послание
della Madonna,
Богородицы
Gesù Cristo,
и Иисус Христа.
io ho ricevuto anche
Я получил также
da questo messaggio.
In the spiritual message I have received from the Holy Virgin and Jesus Christ, it is said that we are not alone in the universe, and that Jesus Christ not only came here, but has also been to millions and billions of other planets to bring the message of God. Many of these civilizations are much more involved than us because they were born before us and have recognized Christ. That's why they are able to reach our planet. You know everything about me and my experience, as well as I know who stands behind you. I know it very well. We must reveal this reality to the people. I understand that you can do it officially. But it is necessary to take the first step. I can help you. Is there a time limit to do this? Yes. Could you be more precise? In a few years, not many.
Я понимаю, что официально вы сейчас сразу не можете. Но нужно потихоньку начать двигаться.
If I understand correctly, in your opinion, there should be an official statement at government level.
Alcuni anni,
Несколько лет.
non molto.
Не так много.
Revealing the truth about the visits, and the first step must be taken.
Посещений или даже материальных, существования материальных останков вызовет ответную реакцию от других стран.
Ufficiali saranno farà una risposta da altri paesi.
Должен быть сделан первый шаг.
Cioè bisogna fare il primo passo.
Sì, il primo passo lo può fare la Russia,
Da первый шаг может делать Россия.
secondo me.
Yes, the first step could be taken by Russia, I think. Russia could do it. I would be pleased if Russia did it together with the United States. You know, and I know, you know, that during the Cold War since 1947, the Russian and American governments have agreed on one thing, a pact of silence about the truth regarding the extraterrestrials.
Una delle pochissime
В
cose
одной из немногих вещей
dove erano d'accordo
договорились.
era il silenzio sulla realtà
Это состоит
Дело в том, как я понимаю, на личном мнении,
questo è il mio
This is only my personal opinion, but I think that such a declaration at an official level could provoke the same consequences of a UFO landing at the White House or at the Kremlin.
portare alle stesse conseguenze che se un'astronave atterrasse vicino al Cremlino o alla Casa Bianca.
se si fa subito.
Если сразу это сделать туда.
Yes, if we would do it immediately. However, if we prepare people carefully and slowly, people will be able to understand, and it would not provoke any catastrophe. That's why I am asking, if you have important material, it's time to let it out. Even if you didn't do it, extraterrestrials would show themselves in any case.
Se questo non succede,
Если этого не произойдет,
lo stesso si
инопланетяне все равно явятся.
perché nessuno li
Но сразу предложение.
Una proposta che voglio
Мы
fare.
воспользуемся любезностью и предложением.
I would like to make a proposal. Perhaps we could prepare some documents from the Tver UFO Center in which we will say that they exist, that these objects arrive.
Nella quale diremo che esistono queste
Появление
I thank you very much.
io вас очень благодарю.
With your help, we will publish it.
Con il vostro aiuto.
вы предложите.
Certainly, I will have it published worldwide by my research colleagues, by the press, in Italy, everywhere. This could help the people. It would definitely help the people.
Это может помочь.
We will do it then.
Ci penseremo.
I ask you to do this from my heart, truly, because I do this honestly myself, without any political interest.
И я на этом не зарабатываю никакой капитал себе.
After the meeting, Bongiovanni was given a selection of documents regarding UFOs from the Academy archives. Let's take a look at these photos and films that are of great historical importance. This first photo was taken in 1953 by the engineering officer Valentin Ivanovich on the outskirts of Tver, near to the military base where the academy is to be found. The photos are in black and white. This second photo was taken again by the engineering officer Valentin Ivanovich in 1992, close to the Tver military base. These photos led military expert analysts to the assumption that near to Tver there is some kind of dimensional door that is used by spaceships to enter and leave our dimension. This photo was taken by a civilian in 1991 and studied by the Tver Academy experts. The following series of 3 photos were taken between 1991 and 1992. This amazing photograph was taken by some youngsters near to the perimeter of the Tver military base on the 3rd of March 1991. It is part of a series of photographs which have been studied and analysed by the Tver Military Academy. In this picture, one of the witnesses indicates the strange flying object photographed. This picture shows again the strong rays of light given from these spinning objects. Georgio Bongiovanni was given 2 short films where objects appear making strange movements. In the first film you can see on your right 2 objects that materialize, while on the left another object separates in 2 parts before disappearing. An object appears on the right and again divides in 2. In this short film, taken in 1995, we can note the extremely rapid spins of an object before it disappears. With this film, the series of documents handed to Georgio Bongiovanni and his team by General Reshetnikov comes to an end. It is perhaps the first time that an important high-ranking general still in service has left a statement in front of the telecameras, declaring that UFOs and aliens exist, and allowing his officers to make statements and show photographs and films which are so convincing that the notice is then widely spread. The next day, Giorgio Bongiovanni went into detail over some of the important questions already dealt with Colonel Zurkin of the Russian Secret Service and Lieutenant Colonel Boris Sidorenko. We can notice in particular the expression on Colonel Zurkin's face while answering the question regarding the government's knowledge about the UFO matter. Why do you think the Russian and American government do not say that is confirmed to the public the truth about the existence of UFOs? It's difficult to say why. Let's say they know everything. Can we state this? I think we can. They know everything. It is my personal opinion. But they know. But why don't they say so? Perhaps they don't understand what could be the consequences. Because once people will realize that aliens are peaceful, good and powerful, would not believe in religion anymore. They would believe in the religious message, but they would not recognize the power of religion or even the state. This is the real danger. This is the real truth, that the states and the religions do not want to lose their power, cost what it costs. Now let's listen to the last statement left by Lieutenant Colonel Boris Sidorenko. For us, it has been a great pleasure to spend this time with you, and I wish again to express the opinion of my superior. We have tried to reply frankly to satisfy your curiosity, but there are some aspects that we as military cannot reply to. But I believe some aspects are very limited. Thank you. I will invite you again, and I hope that our collaboration will continue. Thank you. At the end of the interview, Giorgio Bongiovanni handed Colonel Zurkin a written request addressed to the Russian high authorities, asking that they explain clearly about this important and delicate matter in order to prepare humanity for contact with other civilizations from the cosmos. After his return from Russia, Giorgio went to Switzerland and Germany for important meetings in order to present his findings. He informed fellow students and public attending these meetings about information received in Russia. These are the comments of some important investigators. I wish to comment above all about Giorgio Bongiovanni and how he was able to make certain people that don't often speak divulge secret statements. What appears incredible and impresses me is that I have tried to contact the general, but he has never accepted an appointment. Giorgio, instead, is able to find a way to open all the doors, even in Russia.
I have some very strong feelings about having seen this film. I must be honest with you and tell you that I'm a bit angry to see a Russian three-star general speaking out honestly on this subject, when I and many of my colleagues have been desperately trying for many years to get my own government to speak out honestly on this subject.
I'm very impressed by your effort to go to Russia, to go to Tver and to meet General Shechnikov. And if you see the video, you clearly get the impression the general knows much, much more. And much more than he is able to tell you or he is allowed to tell you. And if you look into the face of the KGB man, and if you hear how he is arguing, you clearly get an impression about the inner fight he is struggling between, on one hand, goodwill and the great responsibility and the fear about the human reaction. The material they gave you is very interesting and very impressive, but we all know it is only a snowflake on the tip of an iceberg.
Certainly, General Reshetnikov isn't the only important person in Russia to leave statements or documents which prove the complete recognition of the existence of UFOs in this country. Let's look at a brief account of events regarding this matter. Alexander Kazantsev, famous and legendary pioneer of the study of paleoastronautics, that is the study of the alien presence on the Earth in history, discoverer of the Japanese statue Dogu, showing space-suited figures of over 5,000 years ago. This grand man, other than being sure about the UFOs and alien presence and activity on our planet, has declared to Georgio Bongiovanni that the Russian government and Secret Service have had complete knowledge of this fact for many years. But I know that the military air defense had orders to record every appearance of this type. Regarding the KGB, I know that many of my cosmonaut friends signed a document in which they say that they would not inform anyone about what they know regarding this subject.
Firmavano un documento
In March 1992, in the space city of Moscow, Georgio Bongiovanni met with the cosmonaut, now General, Vladimir Kovalyonov. He spoke about seeing in space unidentified objects during one of the Soyuz missions of which he was commander. He illustrated, using sketches, the strange movements of the object, which then divided in two parts, each part continuing to fly by itself. Following this, other films were made showing the extraordinary ability of the UFOs to maneuver. Other Russian cosmonauts have stated to Georgio Bongiovanni that they believe that we are not alone in this universe, even though they haven't had any direct experience. Among these are the cosmonauts Polishuk and Krikalev. In October 1992, Georgio Bongiovanni from the Space Control Center in Moscow spoke directly with the cosmonauts in the orbiting station Mir-1. Although the cosmonauts said that they had not had direct experience, they were convinced that they were not alone in the universe. Greetings from our association, Non Siamo Soli, and from my spiritual father, Eugenio Siragusa. If, as in this case, the cosmonauts declared that they have not had direct contact with alien objects, documents exist that show that these situations actually happened. The film that we are about to see was taken during a rendezvous with the orbital station. We can see, close to the station, a cigar-shaped luminous object. The film was taken in 1993 by the cosmonauts Musa Maranov and Gennady Stryekelov. The famous German researcher, Professor Michael Hessemann, has investigated into this important document. We can hear his comments in this interview with Non Siamo Soli in Germany, March 1997.
Actually, in June 92 or 93, I'm not sure about the year, cosmonaut Musa Manarov was approaching the Mir station. And on this approach, we filmed every object in space. And on the film, you can clearly see a cylinder-shaped craft, which has a kind of rotating light going around, very similar to the craft filmed in Salida, Colorado, in September 1995. And in my opinion, it is without any doubt a muzzle ship, a cigar-shaped craft, which might have a diameter of about 1 kilometer. I got it through a Russian correspondent of mine, Valery Uvarov, who got it directly from Musa Manarov.
This isn't the first time that this kind of object has been sighted in our skies. Let's look at some. In October 1993 in Moscow, an amazing film was given to Georgio Bongiovanni. The film, made on the 15th of August 1993 in Sebastopol in the Crimea by an amateur cameraman using a Panasonic, shows an object that shoots across the lens and after completing short twists in the sky disappears. As a result of this film and other similar episodes recorded in various parts of the world, a dispute was started. The Panasonic technicians interviewed by the American Discovery Channel program believe that it could be caused by the deformation of the Panasonic telecamera diaphragm. This, not being able to focus on objects too far away, would create a distorted image of a rhomboid shape, apart from the fact that in many sightings the witnesses have declared seeing a spinning top form with the naked eye. There is no doubt that a flying object can be seen in front of the lens. In conclusion, we add that the film has been analysed by various researchers and also the Spanish Military Institute, thanks to the help of the famous Spanish ufologist Juan José Benítez. The result of the complete analysis is that the film has not been faked in any way. During the Zurich International Congress 1997, the Russian professor Boris Shurinov, president of the Russian UFO Center, presented this film taken in 1996 in Moscow. The oval-shaped object reflects the rays of the sun. In the video, reference points of a tree and the roof of a house can be seen. In June 1997, Georgio is again in Moscow for another meeting regarding his work in the search for witnesses of extraterrestrial facts and the spiritual sense. On the 8th of June, he met with another important figure, a Russian hero, General Vladimir Aksionov. This cosmonaut, who has flown in the Soyuz ship, showed a deep belief and the firm conviction that other forms of life exist in the cosmos and visit us.
Penso che prima di tutto esistono e esistevano da sempre, esistono anche oggi.
Above all, I think that they exist and have always existed. Today, the presence is not important, but what they represent. I believe they can represent different levels, different directions. I am sure there will be contact between us and them. Not only will there be, but there must be, if we want a future for humanity. This future must have a base a lot higher than that of today's, a base of a high-level spirituality. Aksionov declares his conviction that in this moment others even higher than aliens are present on the Earth.
Non sono gli extraterrestri, ma tutti coloro.
Not only the extraterrestrial, but all those who control the life of men and the planetary system.
Lì ci sono diverse gerarchie, diversi livelli.
There are different hierarchies, different levels. Let's say that all are part of a hierarchy created by God. And then everyone has their own objective and part to play. I think the whole universe functions like a balanced system, so complicated that we are not yet able to understand it. I am sure that all in this system have an objective. Have a purpose and an important role. Following this, Georgio was able to obtain some important photographs taken by the Russian military. The 5th of January 1992 in the space base Polar Star. This center is to be found near the city of Plesetsk and is the launching site furthest north in Russia. The photos, all in black and white, clearly show unidentified objects flying over the missile ramp. Yet another confirmation of the active control of military bases carried out by these civilizations. With this important sighting, we end an intriguing selection of documents from Russia. Also, in America, fascinating sightings are being revealed regarding the presence of extraterrestrials on our planet. We will now take a look at the most recent documents collected from the Discovery spaceship mission. During the mission STS-21 of the 14th of March 1989, the ship's doctor, astronaut James Buckley, let slip the words, "We still have the alien spacecraft under observance." A phrase that leaves little to the imagination. Let's listen to it.
Houston, this is Discovery. We still have the alien spacecraft under observance. Houston, this is Discovery. We still have the alien spacecraft under observance.
All the following films were distributed by the American researcher William Hamilton. The images that you are watching concern the STS-80 mission of the 1st of December 1996. In the researcher's opinion, the film shows the movements of at least 6 alien spaceships close to the Earth's atmosphere. Space rubbish or ice particles would not be able to complete the maneuvers completed by the object of light in the film. The Discovery is positioned above Asia, and on Earth there is a violent thunderstorm. The flashes that can be seen are caused by lightning. Suddenly from the right an object appears, and almost at the same time another from the left. The first object, as soon as it enters in the Earth's atmosphere, increases rapidly its luminosity. Researchers believe that this phenomenon is caused by the contact between the atmospheric particles and the spaceship's electromagnetic field. On the center of the screen, suddenly, from nowhere, a brightly lit object appears, while the first object to appear follows its path towards a group of another 3 bright objects in a triangular formation. And it's towards these objects that the Discovery telecamera zooms into. At the end of the film, the telecamera returns inside the spaceship. Hamilton declared that never before have we had such positive evidence of intelligent maneuvers orbiting Earth. The experts are of the same opinion. Jim Dilitoso, the Professor Jack Kasher from Omaha University in Nebraska, and Professor Michael Hesseman, who gave the films to Georgio Bongiovanni. The Space Shuttle mission STS-51A of November 1984 had the job of recovering two defective satellites, the West Star the 6th and the Palabar B2, and then bring them down to Earth. As the shuttle closes in on West Star the 6th, the camera on board shows a clear metal ball that comes from above to then disappear towards the right. In the background, you can see the Earth. The report between light and shade changes during the movement of the object and corresponds to that which is visible on the Earth. This evidence that shows a solid object which reflects light. Its movements leave one to assume in something guided intelligently and exclude the possibility of a satellite. With this film, we close the report of documents coming from Russia and the United States. They will not be the last. As a start, it is comforting. The truth, with more and more clearness, is being disclosed.
The extraordinary evidence that you have seen, in particular the documents that have been produced by both the Russian and American astronauts, make you understand the enormous problem we are looking at. There is ample documentation that cannot be ignored. I am absolutely sure that after having seen all this material, you will agree that the UFO problem is no longer an enigma as it may have appeared till now. The documented material that we have available is complete and serves to show that the problem is one of utmost importance, which we must face in the near future, a subject that is worth studying in order to enter into everyone's consciousness.